Chris is.
Walking on air.
Chris.
Never thought
He.
I'd feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just
Chris. Hello everyone, I've got a treat for you today. Welcome to the Chris Show. Today our topic is going to be relationships and how to get into them, and once you get into them, what to do with them. It's not a real hard question. It's not a question at all. Anyway, it's not a hard situation to figure out. Everyone has their own ways of going about it, but I have the straight from the source way we used to do it back in the day that tend to have worked out pretty well for me. And that's what we're going to discuss today. Okay, so to start with, you've got to attract your mate. How do you do this, you may ask? Well, people try things like going to the bar and picking someone up with all their pickup lines and,
Hey lady, how much does the polar bear weigh?
well, I don't know how much a polar bear weighs.
Enough to break the ice. My name is a polar bear.
Ha ha ha, you are a cute polar bear. You know, like eHarmony, so they can find their silver dollar gal.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Or guy, if that's what you're into, if you're a guy. Or if you're a girl and you're into girls, you might do that. But I'm here to tell you straight, it's not that hard. You don't have to try as much as everyone likes to think you do. Really, what it boils down to, a lot of people or animals you'll see, like if you ever watch the Discovery Channel or something, they always have some kind of mating ritual. And somehow as humans, we have strayed away from this. But I've figured out the supreme way to attract the opposite sex, or same sex, if they're both into that. This is a safe bet, too, if you're into that. They'll pick up on it. They should, because they're humans too. But if they're straight, they won't, so you can just move on and you don't have to worry about it. But either way, it comes with a little verbal thing we have to do. It goes a little bit like this. Yip you.
Yep, you.
You do that, and then it'll attract the mate, and they come to you, and pretty much you might as well keep the ring on you, because they're yours at that point. If you yip you at someone and they come up to you and you're all done, you're flaunting your stuff, you're yipping, you're youing, you got their attention, they come up to you, say hi, you're pretty much engaged. You're set for the rest of your life, so make sure it's the mate you want to be with forever, because a good yip viewer can have anyone they want pretty much, so don't blow it on someone you don't really like. Now, a lot of people don't know the etiquette of the yip you. I mean, you can, it's personal preference, but, you know, if you have little confidence, you know, it's kind of like, yip you.
Yep, weak you.
They're not going to hear that. They're not going to show any sort of attraction to a weak yip you. And you don't necessarily even have to do it that way. You have to do it in that order, sure, maybe. You could try you yip, but that doesn't sound good. I mean, it's just a total breach of the non-existent etiquette that we have with it. But you can break it up. You know, like a yip yip you with two yips. Two yips, no more yous. You can't do two U's. It doesn't work that way. The yip is potentially the greater part, but you tend to carry the U out. So it's a fast and then a long. Like, yip you. That's not going to work either. I mean, that might be sensual, sure. If you're trying to attract someone for a one-night stand, maybe that'll work out for you. But in the long run, you're better off just sticking to the code and trying to do it right. I mean, you can even mix it up and like throw another yip in there, there's no problem with that. That's just your own personal thing. You can make it guttural, like yip yip you, if you're into those like Viking girls. You can try that if you want. But it's a surefire way to attract someone, and like I said, it's basic. It's chemistry. I mean, back in the day, like before Jesus was around and dinosaurs were flirting with cavemen,
Dinosaur give caveman number. Caveman lost caveman number.
Kalukuku, I'm a dinosaur. That's all they had. I mean, they didn't have Gucci purses and Guatemalan high tops to show their status in the world. They had their yips and their yous. And another thing that people tend to usually get wrong in this, I mean, some people might get it, some aren't. It depends how in tune with themselves they are. If, let's say I'm walking on the road and I see a dog, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice dog. I want to pet that dog. Well, you can go like, yip dog you! And it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that just means you want to pet the dog. You think it's a cute dog, you want to play with the dog. Nothing wrong with that. You see a policeman, you're like, yip, policeman, you! And the policeman looks at you, and if he's homosexual or something, he might get turned on, but he might not know why, because he's not so in tune with his inner human-nitis thing we've got going on as humans. But it's all up in the air, and that's pretty much how you bag the opposite sex. It's as easy as that. You walk into anywhere, walking on the street, you see some like amazing superwoman / man thing walking around the road, and they're not with anyone else. You give them a firm yip you-in, and you're golden. Like, really, you're set for life. And like, that's it, pretty much. So now we go into
A brief intermission.
Welcome to Intermission. Yeah, intermission.
Welcome back from our brief intermission. Having to do with some time restraints and YouTube, I'm actually going to have to cut this one a bit short. So we'll pick up again next episode on how to snag the perfect mate and to continue onward from there. And let's go straight to the question. We've had some complaints about the noise thing with our button to press to go into question mode. So that's in the shop right now. So let's just take a walk right over there. Okay, we're here. All right. Today's question comes from Tony Gessner from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who writes, Dear Chris, I have an unresistible urge to drop air conditioners out of windows. I simply cannot help myself. Any advice you have would be greatly appreciated. Love, Tony. P.S. I have a tiny room. Well, Tony, unfortunately I have no advice for you other than to stop. Air conditioners aren't the cheapest thing to be dropping out of windows, and if they fall on people, they could potentially harm them. And I know if I were really hot and wanted to cool myself down, and I came into my room, which is larger than yours, I would be very upset if my air conditioner were laying 2 stories below me, because that does no good to me. So just stop. You might want to see a professional, which I am not. But anyway, yeah, next time, relationships, we'll finish that topic up and get another question rolling. Please send any of your questions to me. Be greatly appreciated since I have like none left. But yeah, good night, Chicago.
Suddenly I am on top of the world. Should have been somebody else. Da, 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 da. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Never thought I could be so free. Something, yeah, yeah, and I'll answer your questions. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.